Hey guys, this is X. In my last video, I revisited Hellfire Ramparts wearing Tier 9 tanking gear, and I found that with a gear upgrade, I was able to get better results if I was more creative, because having better gear allowed me to be more creative in Ramparts and get better results than if I had lesser gear. So I got to thinking, what can I do in Scholomance? And if you've been watching my previous videos, then you know that Scholomance is the best place for a Death Knight to farm. And as you can see here, as usual, I'm starting with 0 gold, 0 silver, 0 copper in my bag. And we're going to go back into Scholomance now, get a little more creative, and I'm actually really excited to be bringing this to you guys because, as you know, Scolo is my favorite instance to farm, and I was excited at these results. They are absolutely phenomenal. So anyway, if you were watching my previous video, the first one, actually my first two videos are Scholomance, and if you watch them, then you know the basic flow of how this instance works. We're going to open up the same way. I'm not going to go into the fine details like I did in the first two. If you want the finer details of how this works, then you can go back and check those other two out if you haven't already. But yeah, we're going to open up the same way, except this time we're going to go ahead and loot these mobs right off the bat, because we're not actually going to be pulling the next room into here. We're going to get a little more creative than that. Just a tad, though. So I'm going to speed up this looting sequence here. Well, actually, no. Sorry, I'm not speeding up this one. I speed up all the rest. This run takes about 12 minutes, and I only have a 10-minute limit in YouTube, so I have to make do with lesser time than I would like to. But anyway, this next room goes just about as you remember it. I use my ghoul to round up all the mobs in here, and I just stand up on this ledge so that none of the mobs will target me, and I just keep sending my ghoul around the room with my macros. It probably looks very familiar to you. It looks familiar to me because I do this all the time. So anyway, I'm sending my ghoul out there. And for some reason, he runs off to the left here, and I can't figure out why. So now I'm like, get over there, pointing my cursor at the other mob. So, okay, there he goes. Go on, stupid. I love my ghoul. I just mistreat him all the time. Anyway, there he goes. There you go. Good boy. Okay. So now I send him over at that last mob over there, and this time I'm going to use Huddle. This is a very rarely used ability for the ghoul, but I use Huddle so that he can sustain more damage, because while he's going to die in there, having rounded up all the mobs, I'm going to actually start the next room. Before, we didn't start this room until we were done with the last room, but this time I'm going to come in here and take out as many Dark Summoners as I can. And I find that the best way to do that is Icy Touch, Plague Strike, Blood Strike, and then a Death Coil. Those moves in that order will take them out in one rotation every time. So there we go, I'm taking out as many as I can, and now you can see that the other room is actually rushing to come and attack me. So we're going to take out this Dark Summoner, and I don't really dare try and take out the other two, because these mobs are already stunning me and knocking me down and slowing me, and you can see eventually the pressure on my HP just becomes too much. So I don't really want to risk that. I try and take this last one out, but I miss. I can't do it. I have just too many mobs on me right now. So I'm just backing up. Make sure you back up. That way your parrying can take effect until you can create some distance between you and the mobs. So anyway, I run in this the previous room, and I get into the corner here that pulls all the mobs to me. I fire up Icebound Fortitude and Anti-Magic Shell, and then I spread my diseases using, again, a high HP mob. So I've got my diseases spread, I've got Death and Decay down, and then I use Death Pact on my ghoul to refill my HP. And now, just like I did in my Ramparts Revisited video, I'm just spamming Death Strike to keep my HP up, and I'm making sure to respread my diseases over and over again, and use Blood Boil when I can so that I take down the mobs. Once they're all dead, you have to come in here and finish off the Dark Summoners. And I guess that other one did die. I didn't notice that when I was running this, but I guess that other one did die to my diseases. So that's a good thing. We're going to finish off these mobs here. And you can just spread your diseases to the skeletons. Your diseases will be enough to take them out. If you've got too many of them around you, then you can just use a Corpse Explosion. I'm going to go ahead and speed up the looting sequence here. We just took out 2 rooms in 1 pool. And with practice, you can do this quite efficiently. And so I'm just going to loot up all the rest of the mobs. And now we're going to start the next room. If you watched my previous Scholomance video, you know that I pull this room very creatively by having my ghoul pull the entire left half of the room and I pull the entire right half. This minimizes the damage that I take, because my ghoul is taking about half of it while I pull these mobs. This was a necessity back when I didn't have tier 9 tanking gear, because if I tried to pull this whole room by myself, they would kill me before I got to the previous room. It's not so necessary these days because tier 9 tanking gear can sustain this kind of punishment, but I still pull using this method because it's quick and it's fun. So anyway, we're going to round up that last little bit. I didn't notice my ghoul was actually getting to him, So I decided to help him out and just go grab that last bit of the pool myself. I wasn't able to combine this room with another room just yet. I'm trying to work on a way to put this room as a as part of the next pool. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's not part of this video. We pull the mobs in here. I fire up anti-magic shell again to prevent being silenced, and then I spread my diseases and drop death and decay again. And now I'm spamming corpse explosion and death strike to refill my HP, and the mobs go down very easily. In an unholy spec, your diseases do the work for you. So we finish off these mobs, and then I use lifeblood and cannibalize to refill my health. If you're not at full health here, then you can just eat some food or something, because you're not going to have another mob between now and the next pool to refill your health. So let's go ahead and speed up the looting sequence and get through all of that. So you see now I have a full HP, and we're just going to head on into the next room now. This is where it starts to get a little new, because in my last video I didn't actually pull this next room, and in reality I'm pulling 2 new rooms here. My ghoul is going to pull the entire right half of this room, and I'm going to pull the entire left half. It's just a matter of targeting your ghoul correctly and moving through the mobs yourself on the left side. So once you've got aggro on all the mobs, this room actually connects to a boss room below. So you jump down one of these holes in the alcoves, and now your pet is pulling all of the mobs to you, and use this time to gather up these skelly mobs, just as I'm doing here. These guys hit really hard, so be careful how many you gather. Be mindful of your HP. If you have to, try and pull them backwards. I chose not to, just for speed. And then I send my ghoul in to attack the boss. This aggroes him, and it's just that much less damage that I'm taking whenever I do go drop my death and decay over here, as I do right now. Alright, so you can see they've almost got me killed. So I'm going to use my anti-magic shell to prevent the poison damage from those drakes, and then I'm going to cast Death Pact on my ghoul to refill my health, and once again I'm just spamming my diseases and Death Strike to refill my HP. So the mobs are going to go down eventually here. Like I said, these guys do a lot of damage. Luckily, even though the drakes are ranged mobs, they still pull into range by themselves, and I found that to be a treat, because normally I have to account for ranged mobs and bring them in on my own. So anyway, we finish off this pull at some point. Here we go. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and speed up this looting sequence as well. So that's the end of this run. I'd like to add another couple of rooms to Scolo at some point, and if I'm able to do it successfully and efficiently, I'll show you guys. But look at all that I have in my bags now. That's absolutely amazing. You come outside and you use the trinket that I showed you to see the blacksmith right outside. And then I use Scholomance to sell all the grays, as you are used to seeing me do. And again, I just organize all of my gear the way I've shown you to do it in previous videos. So I'm not going to get into any of that here either. So with this all done, let's just go ahead and jump in and see how we did. So after repairs, I came out with 19 gold and 87 silver in looted coin in my bag. And I got 46 gold, 39 silver for the 117 rune cloth, 44 gold, 32 silver for the life-stealing formula, 10 gold, 7 silver for the major spirit formula, 61 gold, 82 silver for the pristine black diamond, 15 gold, 7 silver for the traveler's backpack, 18 gold, 80 silver for the 3 large brilliant shards, and 25 gold and 34 silver for the 6 illusion dust. And total, that comes out to be 241 gold and 68 silver in 12 minutes and 11 seconds. You do the math, and that comes out to be 19 gold and 84 silver per minute. Part of what makes this really exciting to me is that this was a low run. I usually get some Greater Eternal Essences off of the greens that I loot here, and the Greater Eternal Essences sell for about 17 to 22 gold a pop, and I usually walk out with 3 or so per run. So that's about 60 gold that I'm missing out on in these calculations. So I usually come out, honestly, with about anywhere between 25 to 30 gold per minute. The only reason I chose this run was because it was one of the shorter runs that I did. And because of the YouTube 10-minute limit, I had to choose one of the shorter runs, otherwise I wouldn't be able to fit in everything I wanted to say. And I do apologize if this sounds rushed, guys. I had a lot to say in this video, and I had very little time to say it in. I really hope you guys can make some good use of this. If you want to get a good grasp of what's happening in this video, I wasn't able to cover all of it, but I do cover most of it in my first 2. I strongly recommend you go watch them now. And as always, guys, if you liked it, rate it high. If you didn't like it, rate it low. And if you found it entertaining or useful, please subscribe. And until next time, guys, go out and have fun. Enjoy.